again, everyone. Welcome to already episode 5 of the Adam Jones podcast from the Baltimore Banner, thebaltimorebanner.com. It seems like we've been going at it for 3 years. I'm Jerry Coleman. He's the former 5-time MLB All-Star Adam Jones. We want to acknowledge the lucky ones watching via YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or more importantly, thebaltimorebanner.com. Tell a friend or family member. Coming up, we'll chat with Orioles rising star Gunnar Henderson, talking all about the baby birds who are growing up quickly. Also, we're in for a heck of a debate, our Jerry versus Jones segment. Does MLB need a salary cap? We won't ask Gunnar about that. We'll just argue heavily amongst ourselves. Also, why is there a lack of African-American players right now in Major League Baseball? The World Series had a grand total of 0. We will address that as well. We have some strong opinions on both sides. And as always, we'll salute our Baltimore Banner, Varsity Sports Network Athlete of the Week. We'll read a hand-picked social media post. You can always follow us on Twitter. No blue check mark, and we ain't paying for it. Also on Instagram and Facebook at Adam Jones Pod. Those that follow us might be rewarded with a cool AJ signed stuff. I'm not going to say what that is, but you just have to follow us. We're brought to you by our friends at Jack Daniels. There's lots of ways to make whiskey. There's only one way to make Jack Daniels. Make it count. Drink responsibly, please. By Be More Around Town, they have the ultimate all-inclusive pregame purple tailgate experience before every home and away game. Head to BeMoreAroundTown.com to find out what's coming up. They had a heck of a weekend during that Navy Notre Dame game, but there's some away trips still available at BeMoreAroundTown.com. Also, the Weinman Company, thanks to Dennis and Mandy, does a great job with those.
Most importantly, Mandy.
I'm still waiting for those cookies. And speaking of cookies, how about G-Leaf Medical Cannabis? Visit gleaf.com. It's for qualified Maryland patients only. And a reminder, if you're enjoying this podcast as much as we are doing it, make sure to check out the Baltimore Banner. They're covering the Ravens, the Terps, and the Orioles, along with all the news across the Baltimore region. As a special thanks to our listeners, they are now offering 6 months of unlimited digital access for just $1. Just go to thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get started. That's thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ. 6 months of unlimited digital access for just $1.
Henderson, good pick. He got one. He got two. Oh, brilliant by Gunnar Henderson.
All right, let's get into it and bring in our featured guest. He is Gunnar Henderson from the Orioles. Gunnar, how are you?
Doing great. How are y'all?
Appreciate you taking the time. We really know your time is very valuable, and you're coming off a heck of a season. Before being called up in early September, you were, of course, the top-rated prospect in all of baseball. The wait to get to the major leagues, you were rewarded with a heck of a year. But talk about waiting for your name to be called and when you got called and what that experience was like for you.
Yeah. Are you talking about draft night or?
I'm talking about the call up to the bigs.
Call up. Okay. Yeah.
No one cares about the draft anymore.
I was about to say, yeah, that's a long story for another day. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. I mean, it was actually kind of off guard. I guess that's how they say it always happens. It catches you off guard because Colton Cowser and Joey Ortiz actually came up, and I was glad to be able to play a game with them. And it was actually only one game with them, so it was pretty funny just to be able to only play one with them and then get the call and spend it with them because I was actually going to a burger place with them. I'm sure you saw in the video of when I said I was getting a burger to eat, but yeah, they were with me when I had to go back to the field, and I let them know as soon as I found out. So it was pretty cool to be able to spend it with them.
That's impressive. Auburn fan, Bama boy, lives in Selma, from Selma. That's awesome. We talked to you texting earlier about how historic that really is. I mean, I looked up your minor league numbers, and obviously, I mean, knowing who you are, you absolutely raked. And, you know, I raked a little bit in the minors too. There has to be a point where you're hitting, and obviously, you know the noise of social media. You hear it. It's just, it is what it is. But there has to be a point where you're like, well, damn, I know I'm young, but I don't need to be here no more. There has to be a point that creeps in your head because your numbers are too good. Now, if you're 250, 260, you know, middle of the road, okay, I get that. It's like, okay, I may need more at-bats, may need to go to winter ball. You're talking mid threes with like OPS of 1,000. Like that means like I need to keep going. And I mean, hitting a homer in your first at bat, like just take me through that minor league experience where you're raking, just like, and be a little cocky though. I need you to be a little cocky. Like I need you to be a little cocky because I was a little bit too, but obviously the right way, the proper way. Be a little cocky and be like, look, when I'm raking, like, call me up a week earlier. Call me up 2 weeks earlier at the All-Star break when I first seen you. You should have went straight to Baltimore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's hard for me to do. I've never grown or been that way. But I mean, I will say, like, you go through the minor leagues for the experiences and stuff, and I felt like it was probably 2 or 3 weeks we were in Rochester, New York, and it was about that time that somebody did the fake Orioles page and said that I was getting called up. So my phone was just getting blown up, and I wasn't getting called up. So it's like I had to go through that experience of having to play with that type of, I guess, pressure in a sense, because I kind of put that on myself, and I was like, you know what, it's not worth it. So I just completely like deleted that or deleted Twitter, because it was just every morning like blowing up my phone, and it was just kind of overwhelming at the time. So when I finally did that, then I was kind of able to take a deep breath and just let myself go back to being who I was, and was able enough to start hitting pretty good again and get the call up.
That's always beautiful. All right, playing your first full year. I mean, you're coming out of high school, same as me, where, what do you guys play down in Alabama? 35 games,
roughly 33 my senior year. So,
and then you go into 144, whatever it is now in the minors. And I mean, I know I had to say now battling elbow problems, battling this, I'm homesick. Like, damn, we really play every single day. It's a real job. You forget, like, there's no mom and dad putting their arm around you. Hey, good game. No, your friend, somebody else's dad, like, hey, good game. Like, you suck tonight. And you need to clean it.
Yeah.
It turns into a real game. But you get to play your first full year, and again, being young, like myself, getting called up, where there's still a lot of games putting on your body at an early stage. Now, again, you're young to where you could just fight it off. I remember waking up like nothing happened. But for your first time really playing into September, deep in September, and playing every day into September, not just there in September. My two Septembers, I was just there. I was working out and just there, just spread killer, taking in the checks. You know what I mean? But your opportunity was different, where you're playing every single day, and this is the most at bats you're getting. You know what I mean? How'd your body hold up to it? Because, I mean, you look good, obviously, but how you feel? Looking and feeling is two different things.
Honestly, before the season, I actually did it before my very first pro season. I went and got a blood work test to just see what I'm deficient in. So I would take like specific vitamins that are conjured to me. And my dad kind of set it up, and I would do that before spring training both years, and I would take those throughout the year. And honestly, I felt like I could go play about 30, 40 more. Like, my body felt great throughout the whole year, and a testament to the strength staff for the Orioles of preparing me before each and every game. So, and helping set up the right workouts and just put my body in the right position. So I felt like that, being able to do that every year, and just, like you said, staying healthy throughout the year. That's the best way to go about it, because best ability is availability. So
100%. And hey, Ebel knows about that. I mean, Ebel was around. Cal around B-Rob, Markakis, myself. The history there. We prove ourselves. We play every day. You post every day. So taking to health, your off-season plans. Have you taken some time to like decompress? I know it's a month out. You're talking 6 weeks out now. Have you been able to just decompress yourselves, relax, go take a vacation or something, do something with your brother, with your family, be able to just, get away? You cut your hair, so you can't lay your hair down anymore. But just be able to just get away. You know what I mean? Because I got away, because I think you need to decompress.
Yeah. I think the week after, I went and I bought a dog, and been training him a little bit, and I'm going to send him off before spring training to get trained. And besides that,
Awesome.
I'm playing a little golf to keep the body moving, get out there on the links and play, and just been hanging out, getting ready for hunting season coming up.
Oh, here you go. You're one of them boys out there. Hit up Mark Akins, go to one of them. All them guys got ranches throughout them sticks, man.
That's not you, Adam.
It is me, actually. You know what I mean? Never say me. I'm the jack of all trades, master of none. You know what I mean? I know I like the bow better than the shotgun, but I like the shotgun also.
That's what's in season right now is all both season. So got to get it sighted in. I bought a new sight, so it's been a little heavy sledding on trying to get that thing sighted in.
Find a spot and be comfortable and wait your turn. And you waited your turn. You got promoted. You were the youngest player in the major leagues at the age of 21. You came out of the gates like a thoroughbred. What a start it was. Did your teammates make you feel like a rookie? I guess outside of guys like Adley and some of the other, and congratulations for Adley winning Rookie of the Year. We'll talk about you still being eligible, but were you treated like a rookie or treated, differently by your teammates once you started to really establish yourself a little bit?
No, I mean, outside of like some of the older guys who I developed a relationship with, like throughout the, 30 some games that I played, I was able to spend a good amount of time with a lot of those guys at the alt site in 20. So I felt like I was able to have a good relationship already in there. So it made the transition up to the big league level a lot easier and made it a lot more comfortable for me.
What about playing with a lot of these guys that you played with at the lower levels? Like we mentioned Adley and obviously DL and some of these other guys that got promoted.
Just being able, because when I first got to pro ball, Adley was my very first roommate. So just being able to start the relationship that early with him was really special, and just seeing it, because I was freshly turned 18 at the time, and just being able to see how he went to work through the college side of things and just see how his routine was pretty awesome to be able to experience that. And then just being able to watch DL and face him in 2020 at alt site was pretty tough, but it was awesome to be able to see that because, not very often do you see 100 from the left side. So,
talking about Adley, you just finished second in Rookie of the Year, very deserving. Obviously, Julio led his team to the playoffs. I believe playoffs are very important for awards in sports. Explain him, because you said you're going from high school myself to getting your first roommate as a college guy, just like myself. They're a little more mature. They're 3 years older. They've seen a little bit different things. They've been away from home. They're not homesick like we are. Explain that relationship, because a lot of people don't really know Adley and again, don't go into too detail, but a lot of people don't know Adley on a personal level.
He's just it's hard to fully describe it. He's just a great guy. He loves to entertain. If you get him going, he can quote pretty much any line from any movie, and just he makes you laugh all the time. Just really high energy all the time. It's what you get on the field, it's what you get off the field, but he's even better guy off the field. So he's been one of my best friends. I feel like we've developed a really good relationship, and just being able to spend time with him, and even we'll hop on the PlayStation every now and then and play, and it's just really awesome, and I've really enjoyed spending time with him.
Awesome. And one more thing. Actually, I got a couple more things for you because you're really, really interesting. I remember when I first seen you, I was like, damn, they make y'all like this? I just grabbed your shoulders. That's a big boy. But take me to Hyder. Obviously, taking over a rebuild. And now, the rebuild is here. Yeah. He's leading the revolt. And, going into spring training, it's going to be, it's going to be expectations. This is actually a multi-ended question. Hyder's going to be leading this revolt for, explain that to me. Explain, going into the season. I know once you guys were eliminated mathematically, it was I know it was dang, but hey, we did something. We made some people pissed off around here. I know you guys are fired. I know you guys grew up together. So you guys got to be group texting hey, man, we actually can do this. And then, going to spring training with the expectations, how you going to handle it? Because you're one of the faces already. That your name has popped up. You type in Orioles, your name comes up with Adley just as often. So, target's going to be on you, which is a good thing. Targets ain't on you. It means you're probably the minor. So, how are you going to handle all this? The newfound pressure, newfound people going to want to whoop your ass pretty much.
Yeah, man. I feel like just the work ethic that I put in throughout the offseason, I feel like it'll hold us on. And like you said, even if we have the targets on our back, just go into each day with the same mindset and being able to come out there and just do the work. Because I know if we put ourselves in the right position and just make the right decisions enough times, then ultimately we'll put ourselves in a good position to be in playoff baseball in September.
Sounds like the
nothing
Orioles
better.
had a plan for you. I mean, you're eligible for Rookie of the Year coming up this season. If you're not aware, now you are. So you didn't qualify for enough at bats. So I guess that has to be something in the back of your mind. Also, what position you're going to play, because you got a Gold Glover at third, you got a Gold Glover at shortstop too. I know you can play those two positions. You're at second base. I guess you would probably think it doesn't matter, but do you have a preference?
Well, I mean, I got drafted as a shortstop, and that's what I played my whole life. So, of course, I'm going to have some bias towards that. But honestly, just through my professional career, I've been split pretty evenly between short and third. So I'm really comfortable with both. So whichever they suit me up as, I'll be ready to go.
All right, final thing I want to say, hey, look, playoff baseball in the East is a little different. You seen Philly, how they go nuts. New York's a little different, a little more corporate, a little different. But when you're in Boston and you in Toronto and Baltimore, it's a little different. You get that team to the playoffs. Ooh, it's gonna be a lot of Atmans for free for you. From Jerry.
I'm looking forward to it.
Lenny's Deli. Yes.
But they'll love you, man. They love you already. They love the way you play the game. You're hard nosed, and just geographically knowing where you're from. You guys made tough down there. So keep playing the game that way. Baltimore loves that style. So keep it up, big fella.
Yes, sir. That's what I'll do each and every day.
Yeah, Gunnar, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate it, especially during the off season where you're all chilled and laid back. And hopefully we can catch up with you when you start playing ball again.
Oh, yeah. I'd be more than happy to.
All right.
That would be phenomenal.
Have a great year. Be well.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all so much for having me.
All righty.
Well, that was great. And I'm looking forward to seeing him on the field, Adam, to be honest.
Me too. Impressive kid, man.
I mean, and you talk about the youth too. Heston Kjerstad, who just won the Fall League MVP. They got the #1 pick, Jackson Holiday, coming up through the system. So that's why I keep calling them the baby birds. They really are.
They have so much talent that, you mentioned those guys, but they got the guys like I don't want to miss his name. The closer,
Rodriguez, Hall on the mound.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the closer, big fella.
Oh, Bautista.
Bautista, yeah, they got a couple of guys like him just lurking too, because when to big arms, sometimes it's just a little tink that gets them going. And you see what Houston did with Montero. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do, and Elias knows what the hell he's doing. That's why he was brought in, and I think another guy of his was hired, or somebody. That regime, that chain. And it comes, they're just, all those guys are just getting interviews and stuff like that. It's like that Bill Parcells lineage, where if you follow his lineage of his coaches, somebody throughout the damn chain was under him. And it's pretty impressive.
Well, we didn't have a chance, and I didn't think it was appropriate to ask Gunnar about the salary cap, but that does lead us to our next segment. And now it's time to raise the temperature as we bring in the judge for a heated but civil debate. Judge Reggie Fugit joining us for our Jerry versus Jones debate. Reg, how are you?
What's up, Jerry? What's up, Adam? Thanks, Jerry.
How you doing, Reggie?
We are back at the listener's favorite Jerry versus Jones debate. We have a heated topic. I'm very excited to preside over this. My name's Reginald Fugit, and I am the judge presiding. Adam won last time. He is up 3-1 in this debate. Can Jerry make the turn? We're going to start with Adam, and the topic is salary caps in baseball. Right. What you got for me, Josie?
All right. Well, I think when it comes to salary cap, it's always been a hell no issue. And working with the union, we don't discuss that. But I just think that baseball is a tad bit different than the other sports. Again, you put football in North Dakota, in it outside, it don't matter. With standing room only, it'll sell out. Baseball is just a completely different economical driven entity. 81 games, nobody's going 81 games. That's why, players always say, let's just cut it down to 140 games, because, you built in more off days, and it's proven that built in more off days, guys are a little fresher, but you're taking a lot of money out the big fella's pocket. That ain't happening. So I mean, I would like to do it like that. And, and I always told teams, be smarter and do promotional stuff on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. Because if you do it on a Saturday, they're coming anyway. So I just think the salary cap doesn't work because economically each city is going to bring in a different thing. Like Baltimore can't afford a $180 million payroll. LA can because they get the attendance. San Diego can.
How the hell does
Boston
that help
can.
the game?
A lot of things.
How does that help the game? How does that help the game? It's the only major sport in North America without a salary cap. And what a shocker here, folks, that an ex-player, a current player, or an agent is defending the salary cap. Who could have seen that? Even the great Stevie Wonder could have seen that, okay? That's Captain Obvious right there. They need to do something with the salary cap because, as you just mentioned, it's all messed up. The Dodgers spent over $200 million more than the Orioles this year. The Orioles were around $42 million. The Dodgers exceeded $260. Don't you want to have a level playing field? How does that help the Orioles? How does that help their fans? Because they defied the odds for 1 year with a low salary, without a lot of major spending. Now, Mike Elias is on record as saying he's going to spend the money. I'm still skeptical. You're going to have to show me that before you talk about it because I don't know if they have the finances. But money makes you relevant in Major League Baseball. You go back and you look at the teams that made the postseason. Most of those were the highest spending teams in all of baseball, AJ.
Most of these teams are cities.
All right.
They're just big cities.
We'll let that sit for a sec, taking a pause for our sponsor, and that is the Wyman Company. Thank you so much for sponsoring this epic Jerry versus Jones debate. Now up, we have the rebuttal. We will go with Adam again on the rebuttal. Adam.
All right. Well, again, like I just said, you could put football, since there's 8 games in each city, or 9, depending on your schedule. You could sell out anywhere. You compared Los Angeles to Baltimore. Come on. You compare Los Angeles to Baltimore. There's no comparisons Los Angeles to Baltimore.
There is in the NFL.
You're talking about the NFL is didn't you listen?
Yes, I did.
Put football in Wyoming. It'll sell. It'll be, for some odd reason, it'll be 100,000 people in Cheyenne that's only got 15,000. Okay? I don't want to disrespect Cheyenne. Whoever somebody listening from Cheyenne, I know you got more people than that. You probably got more cows. But, look at economics of baseball. There's too many games. I say too many games. There's a lot of games. I love the schedule. But it's just the certain cities, they just generate more money. I'm sorry. The TV deals are bigger. Baltimore's not the biggest city. But when you win, like we were talking about Gunnar, when you win, people come out and they drive that. They drive the price of the ticket up. They drive when it's at capacity. But you need to win. And these other teams are big markets. They're winning, though. That's what I'm saying. It's like the big markets are winning.
The going rate for a marquee starting pitcher is more than the Orioles' payroll. Max Scherzer earned more than the entire Orioles' payroll combined this year.
He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's got more wins than the whole team of Orioles too.
That's fine.
So
they just declined. They just declined $11 million on Jordan Lyles. So that's too much money for a starting pitcher. That's a bad sign to me if that's going to be too much money for a starting pitcher.
Completely different economical situations. The New York Mets have this owner who does not care about spending money. The Orioles, no one knows really what's going on. And Cohen, we know what's going on. He tells you what's going on. He tweets. You know what I mean? He's one owner that tweets. And if he tweets, I guess it's real, right? In this world. But he got the money and he doesn't care. It's just like like the NBA, these guys go get super teams and so we talk about these 3 guys making $40 million. We ain't talking about the other, like 6 of them making 1.6 because they had to take a pay cut to go play with LeBron. You ain't talking about those kind of guys, are we?
I'll also tell you, most of these contracts are outrageous and don't work out. Mike Trout, best player in the game, hasn't won a playoff series.
That's not his fault. That's not his fault all the way. That's not his fault all the way. Anthony Rendon is a champ. Don't.
I'm just saying the Angels throw more money away than any team in Major League Baseball. That Pujols deal was a disaster.
If they paid you, would you take it? We know, Jerry. We know.
Of course, I'd take it. And you're going to defend these guys to the nth degree. I get it.
Of course.
I'm just saying it's not good for the long-term health of your sport.
Okay. Here's the last thing. I would say if Major League Baseball had a ceiling floor. That would help competition. If the ceiling floor was say $70 million, that would make sure that the Orioles spent. That would, like the NBA went to a ceiling. They had to spend 30% of something. So that's why everybody was getting these fat ass contracts. People are like, this dude averages like 8, making 17. Like it changed the game. But if baseball was to do that again, I'm not in the negotiation room no more. But I'm saying if it was a ceiling floor, it would help you.
Share the revenue and just give me the win.
I think it would help.
Share the revenue like the NFL and give me the win, Judge.
They share the revenue.
All right. The judge has a verdict. The judge has a verdict. And the judge's verdict is with Jerry. Jerry wins this debate. It's definitely made some very good points. And Adam, the ceiling, not the ceiling, the floor is very interesting point that you made.
That's always been something brought up.
It didn't get you the win this time. So Jerry, congratulations.
Thank you.
Again, that is our time.
Wasn't involved this week.
Yep, that is our time with the
Jerry
versus Jones debate. I am your judge, Reginald Fugit, signing off.
Hey, Reggie, question. Oh, he was going to ask him something, but he signed off.
All right, I'm back.
Hey,
there he is.
How you like the new ornament right there? It's a guitar.
That's very nice. That's very nice.
JD guitar. That's for a later segment, by the way.
All right, brother.
Turn the page and make the transition from talking baseball to talking some football. It's our For the Birds segment, brought to you by our friends at Be More Around Town. Besides their all-inclusive Steelers, Browns, and Bengals road trips, which are coming up, where you're joined by thousands, literally, of other Ravens fans. BeMoreAroundTown.com has home tailgates, of course, as well. Head to BeMoreAroundTown.com to find out more. Let's transition, Hun, from the O's to the Ravens coming off their bye week. Roadies. They are expected to have some of their healthier players back for this November 20th game against the Panthers. I saw that they opened up as a 12-point favorite. Baker Mayfield's going to start. But guys like Dobbins and subsequently Rashad Bateman, maybe even the pass-rushing rookie David Ojabo, who tore his Achilles at his pro day back in March, could be on the mend, might be available as early for the Carolina game, if not a few weeks down the road. So we talked about the bye coming at the right time and the schedule shaping up as they are sitting pretty right now at 6-3 and very much in the playoff hunt, Adam.
Oh, yeah. I've talked to a few of my football friends, and they just told me, like, the Ravens have the best, like, schedule going for them right now. Even better than the teams going out to Europe because, they don't have to deal with the travel and all that kind of stuff and the jet lag, even though you get a week off. But one game in 23 days, like you said, health. This is that shot of medicine that it's like we all need it. Okay, we're sore, we're battling. We got some time off. Let's get back. Let's get out in cold tubs, get the massages, and this next push is going to be for it all. It's going to be for it all because what you're going to do is you want to get the number 1 seed so you can get a bye because I think number 1 seed's only one that gets a bye, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to get that, but if you don't, you're going to have to fight basically for the next 10 weeks, I believe, 10, 11 weeks. It's going to be battle. It's going to be hell. But I think that they're just the right time of them getting healthy. It's going to be so important. And man, when you got your team fully blasted, fully going. You already seen how explosive they are. Lamar can do literally whatever he wants, but he just needs his weapons. And again, guys are going to step in, but you need your weapons. And, championship teams generally have their weapons.
Well, they have blown these double-digit leads in all their losses to Miami, Buffalo, and the Giants, but have won 4 of 5 on the road, including winning against Tampa. At New Orleans was the last win. And prior to that, even New England. So Ravens back in action against the Panthers. We'll have more to say about that coming up next week. We continue on the Adam Jones podcast presented by the Baltimore Banner. I'm Jerry Coleman. He's Adam Jones. It's time for the weekly Heckle D's Rant brought to you by our friends at Jack Daniels. We'll tell you about JD in just a moment, but I'm curious to see what you're ranting about.
Well, Gunnar just mentioned it just a tad bit that he just purchased a new feline animal, a new dog. And look, disclaimer, I love dogs. I love animals, okay? I love them. Can't stand you little bastards, but I love them, okay? Pick up after your dog. I don't give a damn.
It's biodegradable.
It's biodegradable if you put it into like a bush that nobody can step in. Okay. I had a dog, fortunately, when I lived out in Baltimore. She would go use the bathroom in the woods. I never had to pick up. But if I'm on a trail with her and she did it in the path of the trail, I would move it to somewhere else, or just put it in the bag and take it away. Out here in Spain, I mean, I've seen it countless times in the United States, but out here in Spain is where obviously this is coming from. I walk my kids every day down in the school bus, and every single day I tell them, watch out for Shimber. And that's a slang word for boo-boo. But watch out for boo-boo, okay? Because it's just people. And again, there's some older ladies that are around here with their dogs. I don't give a damn if your back and hip hurt. Get somebody who can walk with somebody who can pick it up, okay? Teach your dog how to pick it up, okay? I'm tired of it. It's annoying. And people stop having them damn strollers. I'll be wanting to say, oh, look at the baby. It's a damn little poodle in there, okay? Little Lhasa. It's annoying. The dog you got behind you, they be in strollers. That dog can walk. It's a damn dog. Stop getting dogs that can't do nothing, okay? But I love dogs, okay? I still love dogs. I'm going to get more. I love them. But damn, pick up after your dogs, stinking little things.
Watch your step in Spain, too, and watch where you step. The dog that I have behind me, Zindy, got scared away by your rant, so she has left the room. Well done. Of course, brought to you by Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels has always made whiskey.
I need some of this. Let me
and if they have it their way, they always will. But there's one thing Jack can't make more of: moments. Those are on us to create, folks. So let's make sure we're making the most of every moment we have. Make it count. Jack Daniels, please drink responsibly. Time now to go beyond Baltimore, a little national perspective from the Adam Jones podcast. And this has been a pet peeve of yours for a while, AJ, and there's new data for the first time since 1950, just after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. There are projected to be no U.S.-born black players in the World Series 0. It's something that Dusty Baker, a black outfielder for the 81 Los Angeles Dodgers, who managed a world champion Astros, alluded to during the World Series. And I remember at the All-Star game this summer at Dodger Stadium, Mookie Betts was wearing a T-shirt with the message, "We need more black people at the stadium."
There's a lot. Obviously, you can dig really deep into this. But at the same time, I want to be the positive light of it. And there's a big wave of young African-Americans coming up. 4 or 5 of the first top 5 picks were African-American. And there's a strong wave of African-Americans coming up through the minor league systems right now. And you've seen some guys debut with some teams. You got Michael Harris, who just won the Rookie of the Year. There's countless others. But you got a strong wave. I'd rather be on the positive note of it because I'm tired of beating down on the bush of, oh, we ain't got this and this is this. And I'm tired of being that light of it now. I'm going to be on the positive side. There's a lot of things that Major League Baseball is doing to revive baseball for real inner cities.
All right, real quickly, because the last time they had a World Series at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, 1983, you had Gary Matthews, Joe Morgan, Eddie Murray, Gary Maddox, Ken Singleton, Al Bunbury, Disco Dan Ford, plenty of great names. And in an earlier podcast, we talked about being anonymous when it comes to charity work. And one of the things I do want to point out that you've done is try to build the game in certain areas, including Baltimore, in terms of fields, instruction, and just being there as a positive influence. And that has to be acknowledged.
Thank you. I mean, that's what people love. At the end of the day, it's like you can give money. But the second they actually like see you and touch you and talk to you and like just realize that you just like me, you just grown up and, I tell these kids all the time, I was you. Don't think that I'm better than you. I worked my ass off to get to where I'm at. So what do you think I'm here doing? I want to see you work your ass off to get to where I'm at, and then you do it again and pass the saying on. So I appreciate that.
All right. A reminder, if you guys are enjoying this podcast as much as we are doing it, make sure to check out the Baltimore Banner. They're covering the Ravens, Terps, and Orioles and all the local news across the Baltimore region. The Banner has you covered. And right now, a special for those viewers of this podcast, 6 months of unlimited digital access for just $1. All you need to go is to thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get started. Again, that's thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get started. 6 months for $1 digital access from the Baltimore Banner. Turning the page now, it's down to the high school ranks in our Baltimore Banner Varsity Sports Network Athlete of the Week. Maya Everett. Congratulations from Broadneck Field Hockey. Last week, Maya scored a goal in both the 4A state semis and the 4A state championship game to lead Broadneck to their first state title in 20 years.
Oh.
She is the Bruins. Yeah, well done. She's the Bruins captain.
That's super cool.
one of the top 550 seniors in the nation. This according to a publication that Adam's subscribing to religiously. That would be Max Field Hockey. Maya scored 19 goals and had 9 assists this season, leading her team to an undefeated 20-0 season. Broadneck is the #1 team in the Baltimore Banner Varsity Sports Network top 15, as well as they should be. They're also #3 in the Mid-Atlantic, #25 in the nation, according to Max Field Hockey, which is what Adam goes by. And congratulations to Maya Everett from Broadneck. Let's get into our socially speaking portion of the podcast. Remember, you should be following us. If you're not, shame on you, at Adam Jones Pod. That's on Twitter. That's on Instagram. That's on Facebook. And soon we have some giveaways coming. And no, we're not paying the $8 to Elon for a verified account either.
Hell no.
But this week, our tweet at Adam Jones Pod, it comes from someone at Strobe_sport on Twitter. This guy is obviously a fashion guru because we got this. Jonesy, would you please help Jerry learn how to use the buttons on his shirt? Love you, brother. Does he know that was a one-off for our first ever episode? It's been rectified. I'm wearing a nice, and it's salmon colored, not pink, shirt. And I think I have every button except the top one. I am in a warm climate right now, but appreciate that, Strobe.
Well, first off, you got no swag. I mean, that is. I mean, the mannequin looks better than you in clothes, but you don't care. You know what I'm saying? You know, you just want, all you want to do is go eat and have your drinks. But no, true. That's Mike Havers. That's one of the OGs of Nike back in the day. And when I first got in, he was like, "Hey man, if you could talk to this guy, like get on his good side, you get what you want." And I mean, a little brown nosing back in the day. Just, how you doing, Mike? How you doing? Everything's good, you know. And no, but I ran into him randomly in Siena, Italy, going to the paleo race, and you know, had a couple drinks together and had some dinner. And it's just one of the best dudes out there in the game, and taught me a lot, especially on the business side of the merchandise and apparel side of the game. So,
is he a fine dresser?
He's solid. He's more of the if I was to categorize him, he's more of the country club type dress, the golf country club. You know,
well, I'm wearing a golf shirt.
The slacks and the shirt. I will, but he wears the sweater over it, where, you know, just to have the collar just poking out. You know, things like that. You know, maybe the vest. You know, he switches it up a little bit like that. But and he's also 6'4", so that helps out. He's a pretty big guy. So he looks like he played. Jerry, you look like Jerry Coleman.
I broadcast, yes. And hopefully I'm dressed appropriately for this podcast. It's very important to me, and more important to my family, to be honest. I heard more criticism from my sister about the way I looked in that first podcast than anyone else. All right, we're getting the wrap-up signal, and I got a dog barking outside. So we do want to thank all our sponsors. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We're brought to you by our friends at Jack Daniels. Lots of ways to make whiskey. Only one way to make Jack Daniels. Make it count. Please drink responsibly. Again, if you're enjoying this podcast, we encourage you to go out, subscribe to the Baltimore Banner at thebaltimorebanner.com. We have the special for the AJ podcast. 6 weeks, unlimited. I'm sorry, 6 months, correction. 6 months, unlimited digital access for just $1 at thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ. Also, thanks to BeMoreAroundTown.com. Brian does a great job with the tailgates. They got more coming up before Carolina. Of course, road trips coming up to Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Deshaun Watson will be playing in that game. Also, thanks to G-Leaf Medical Cannabis. Head to gleaf.com. That's gleaf.com. Medical cannabis for qualified Maryland patients only. Dennis and the Weinman Group. Thank you all. We are back next week, and we got a very special guest next week. We're just not going to tell you about that special guest. You'll have to tune in and see it for yourself. Until then, go make it a good day.